Hey, what's going on, guys? It is, what are we on? Wednesday afternoon? Holy hell in a handbasket. What a crazy afternoon. So it is Wednesday. We are launching a brand new speaker series online just for you guys as we continue to roll out a whole kinds of cool stuff. Each Wednesday, 4 o'clock p.m., I will be bringing in the Badass Business Summit experts, which will be some of the speakers, some of the sponsors to teach, talk, unload some badassery and just have some fun. So sit back as I bring in the badass herself, who is an absolute phenom in the online space and everything she does with online summits and everything else. Let me introduce you guys to Miss Toni Kaufman.
Oh my
Hello, Miss.
goodness.
How are you, dear?
Hey, Donnie, I'm doing great. Thank you.
So
So, are
excited.
we live? Is
We are
this going?
totally live, dude.
Oh
We
my
are
goodness.
in. We are on 6 different platforms. We're on 2 different spots on Facebook. We're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and a Periscope, which is getting us out to Twitter right now. So we
Okay.
are a little bit everywhere. So why I set the screens up? Tell them a little bit about yourself, who you are, and guys, get ready to throw questions, field answers, and this is a great time to be bringing you in to do all this.
Yeah, and that's what half the fun is. I mean, that's kind of what we do. So, um, gosh, I guess whether it's reinvention or whether it's resolution in 90 minutes, or there's so many different aspects to what I bring to the table. It all depends on the pain or the solution that I can provide. And let me explain that. I was raised in movie theaters and swimming pools. And so in my life, my heroes were entrepreneurs, my mom and dad. Dad had a farmer's insurance agency, and mom had uh, two movie theaters, a Spanish one in McAllen, Texas, an English one in Mission, Texas, and then, of course, the Buckhorn Drive-In, where I spent many, many nights making popcorn and taking drinks out the cars. You
That's awesome.
don't see a lot of that anymore, but
No, no, no. You're
and
showing
that
your
was
age
a
a little
lot of
bit,
fun.
Tony.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. So in my life, I mean, if a problem couldn't get resolved in 90 minutes, there was something wrong with the script. You know.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
So
So
go ahead.
no, go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. You're great.
So I mean that led to the fact that if you're born in a town that has at that time between 16 and 18,000 people, and your father's the one that sells insurance, you can't get away with anything
Right.
because all the cops know you and all the people know you. And the one thing that was, just prevalent in my life is I really want, especially growing up in the 70s, I really wanted to experience what New York was experiencing, and Dallas was, your
Yeah.
hometown, and those were always the big cities. And so I realized that if I was ever going to experience anything like that in the Rio Grande Valley, I needed to bring it home.
Right.
And so I met back when the dinosaurs were around, and met with a good friend of mine that owned a radio station down in McAllen and Brownsville called KRIO. And he taught me and told me what spring break was. Now, my impression of spring break was Annette Funicello, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
all the beach movies, right? So I knew
Yep.
we had to have some fun. But we sat down during lunch and wrote down a proposal to bring spring break down to North and South Padre Island.
Very cool.
And so basically we launched the very first one. And in my story, this is when you know that you really screw up.
Well, hey, if anybody doesn't know, man, Padre is like spring break, heaven. I mean, that's if
I
you're
was
gonna do
there
spring,
at the
holy hell.
beginning. I
Yep.
ran it for 7 years with Anheuser-Busch, Miller Beer, American Tobacco Company, L&M Cigarettes, Liggett and Myers. So we provided. Not only did I come up with all of the contest and the silliness and the craziness of spring break. We're in public, so I really don't want to tell you the names of the contest that I had. But rest assured that we had a good time. So I was in charge of the daytime activities, the nighttime activities, the poolside activities, the concerts, and of course, something to keep the beaches clean, which we had to do for each of the chambers of commerce and the government having to do with the South and North Padre, is we created a can redemption center.
Oh, very
And
cool.
so you cleaned up the beach, you brought in a bucket of empty beer cans, and we gave you T-shirts, and we gave you boats, and we gave you all this goody, swag stuff. And to be real honest with you, we were under orders to give away 100,000 pieces of swag per day
Per
for
day.
yes, sir.
My God.
Yeah. So I mean, we created so many events and so many things, and it's college versus college, right? So
Right,
I
right.
had to create for Camel cigarettes, for example. We had the swamp contest, and we literally created a swamp at South Padre Island, dug out this horrible looking lake with green water with mold all over it, and then you ran up one bridge and then you ran up the other, and it was a rope bridge, and you had to do tug of war on top of the rope.
Oh, Lord.
So whoever fell down,
Wow, that's
and so
awesome.
silly things like that. And so, of course, another one of my major jobs that you'll appreciate, I think, is that Anheuser-Busch was always bringing down the playmates of the month. So we had my job not only was to stay sober, which I did pretty well considering my dad owned the liquor store, but
Dude, if my dad owned a liquor store, there wouldn't be a sober day in my life. Holy hell.
oh,
Dad,
listen,
you're missing out. You should be owning a liquor store.
for my friends back in the Rio Grande Valley, yes, I ruined about 3 cheerleading outfits that I'll never clean.
Hey, and for everybody who's saying hi, I'm going to get to you. So, hi to everybody who's watching on LinkedIn. Got a bunch of people there. Hi to everybody on Facebook. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have the Miss Badass herself, Miss Toni Kaufman, who, oh Lord, I didn't realize that you were a part of all the Stars of South Padre and all that. I can only imagine the stories that you could tell, and Lord knows if those walls could talk or the beach.
Oh, I had Cheap Trick, Molly Hatchet,
Yeah, yeah.
Don Anderson, Grace Slick, Jefferson Starship, of
Wow.
course the Beach Boys, Mike Love, and the Endless Summer Beach Band. They most of them got the barbecue in my condo after their concert. And I do remember having Cheap Trick sitting on the couch in the living room. We were barbecuing outside the condo, and they were sitting there and they were just staring at all of us taking care of them. And they go, "Oh, wow, man, I feel so domestic."
Domestic. Oh, and
Great
Dotson,
memories.
yeah, Dotson over on Facebook said if my dad owned a liquor store, I'd literally be dead by now. So,
Well, I did learn how to drink. So the magic is if your cheeks go numb, you stop.
oh, is that a thing?
That's it.
What if you never realize your cheeks are numb just because you've been drinking and
That's a guy thing.
Oh, is it? Okay, good, good. Well, I've always said, if you get to the point that you are intoxicated, whatever you say after that point, you can't hold it against me because I didn't know I said it. So that's like a get out of jail free card.
Here I am, not supposed to be touching my face. I will let you know that I have this handy just in case I do. So bringing back great memories and all of that, and we are living in such a different world right now, but I'm so glad to be here, Donnie, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share some fun times and old memories with folks who are stuck at home.
Yeah,
and
I love that, Toni, because I keep telling everybody, I feel like it's kind of my moral obligation. And anybody who's a speaker, who's out on stages, who's putting out content, guys, I challenge you to get out right now and put out content. People are stuck in their fucking homes. They're stuck with only Netflix, and streaming services. Don't know what to do. The kids jump online and give them a chance to tune into something so they can break up the monotony of their life. So thank you for doing this for me, girl.
Not only that, Don, but what a great time to start your book.
Hell yes.
I mean, you just launched one. You just launched one, and we did it in between all of the daily things.
Fuck.
My goal was to have one book out in 2019, and I ended up being in 4 #1 bestsellers. So, I mean, that's me, someone with a bad case of dyslexia who really, really has problems putting one paragraph next to another. And so if I could come up with a 160-page book, you guys could do it. Trust me. I was literally in tears trying to make sure that the paragraphs went after each other.
Dude, I
Smooth.
tell you what, there's one
Yeah.
simple answer for that problem, Tony. I can solve that entire writing problem with a first and last name, and it's Laura DeFranco. I don't know if she's even out there watching, but Laura DeFranco, she's the mastermind behind me getting my book out. I did all the writing, but she is a beast and a phenom helping you put that all together. Partner up with a gal named Maggie, and dude, it's a 1-2 knockout punch to get your
Love
book.
it. Absolutely love it. In my world, it was Dee Collins and Melody Mayer. And
No,
Melody, yeah, Melody is we call her Master Mel. She's like an 8th degree black belt, and she's
oh
like
wow.
6 foot tall in stockings, and you don't mess with her at all. And she's gorgeous on top of that. So it's like, be careful, deadly, deadly
Well,
beauty
and
there.
all the people that help me out on different projects are like, "Does Tony know you?" Because, dude, I'm the Mister. I am chaos. I've learned that being an entrepreneur just means you just try a whole bunch of stupid shit till something works.
Oh God,
Um,
that is so true.
and along the way, just be okay breaking things.
And you know what's funny is that I really am kind of the queen of stupid shit. But well, let me tell you what happened is that I decided to be brave back in the 70s, and I started the second Hispanic modeling agency in the United States. The first one was in California, and I could not find a job for my girls to save our lives. I mean, we were exotics thanks to Barbara Carrera in the James Bond film. She actually gave the darker skin, brown eyes, brown hair look the exotic, attention. And it's really true. I just couldn't find the girls' work, and they were beautiful girls. We just couldn't break that mold of, well, you're not blonde haired and blue eyed. And into the proposal, this was kind of the sneaky way to do it. Into the proposals that I did for Anheuser-Busch and for all the spring break people, I put down that they had to use all my talent, which was indigenous to the area talent. Okay, so all the Bud Light girls and we had a good mix.
That's
But
my kind of badass
finally,
move. I love that
we
shit.
finally made it to at least work on spring break and represent some companies and get some incredible sponsors. And I need to tell you that before that I was station manager for, I believe, station Channel 13. And I think I've told you this before. You remember a Weird Al's movie,
Yeah.
UHF or VHF?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that was literally my life. I had to come up with 5 hours a day of local origination programming for the Rio Grande Valley's first cable TV station. And the FCC set it in place in your rules that you had to have a bunch of hours of live origination programming. So, I mean, oh gosh, Donnie, I had a version of American Bandstand, but for kids. And
Oh,
so
wow.
in Far, Texas, we had the warehouse, and we would literally have 200 to 300 kids dropped off every Saturday, and they danced for hours. And we
Wow.
would film that, And then I had the lowrider show. I would open up the doors to the warehouse, pull in the lowriders, and we would interview them, and they would make their cars bounce up and down. And we talked about the culture and the beauty, and some of them, I mean, had like shrines in them, or with the Virgin Mary, and pictures of their ancestors, kind of Dia de
Wow.
los Muertos kind of thing,
Yeah.
in their back seat. And they
Wow.
were, I mean, just amazing vehicles. And so that was my life, is I had to create all of this stuff, which ended up getting me a contract with Disney at retail. And so I was the idiot that would come on the stage with the Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Pluto and sing and choreograph and train everybody that goes in the costumes. And I handled 11 malls from Brownsville to Chicago. And we did all the back to school specials for Mickey Mouse.
Wow.
And then, now, this one you're going to like, and I'll let you touch my head. I was Scooby Doo.
Were you really?
Scooby Doo for 2 years doing back to school specials. And so we
I
did
can't
a
see
whole
you doing
thing.
a role where you don't talk.
Oh, and all you wear is a bikini because you're going to sweat.
Get your ass out,
I
I
need
bet.
to do this again. I really do. So, Hanna-Barbera, if you're listening, I'm ready to go back to work. But it was just pretty amazing. I mean, we the choreography and the dancing and the contracts and all of that just kind of led to my life of of repurposing and redoing and reinventing and being creative. And that's, that is, in my opinion, the DNA of an entrepreneur.
Agreed.
Because you've got to, like you said, you create chaos, you make it work. Some doesn't work, some works really well, and you kind of stick to what sticks to the wall, right?
Yes. Well, and I think a lot of my journey has been surrendered around that entire idea of let's do it until it breaks. If it breaks, figure out how to do it better next time. And that's the whole idea of failing better came about, and figuring that out. So all this craziness and chaos that you've done in the world has led to you doing some badass stuff now. Tell them a little bit about what you do now.
Okay, so what I do now, with your permission, I'll preempt it by talking about how I went from, producer of all this stuff and casting director of all this stuff to actually getting to work with Fremantle Media, and Fremantle Media Latin America. And that was, we were way ahead of our time. We actually did casting for American Idol, and then the Spanish version, if Fremantle Media Latin America makes the same shows but in Spanish.
Right.
So American Idol is Objetivo Fama, which is Objective Fame.
Holy hell, don't ever ask me to repeat what you just said.
Objetivo Fama, Objective Fame. And then America's Top Model is actually Belleza Latina, and then Family Feud, which I also cast, was called Que Dice La Gente, or What People Say. So we got into some real serious casting contracts, and that taught me, oh my God, taught me so much. Donnie, you want to hear a secret about Family Feud?
Yes, of course I do.
When you see a family, there are 5 people. Every position from 1 to 5 has a character that casting directors, producers, and the host know. Here's the secret. Number 1 is the leader of the family, the captain.
Right.
Number 5, you can switch them. They're the ones that get the right answers. They're the smartest. They're the ones that are going to carry the family.
That would never be my seat.
I know where you're going to be. You're going to like where you're going to be. All right. Number 2 is going to be a weak link. All right. They are probably going to get.
Okay, that's definitely my oldest brother Scott. That's where he would go.
And then number 3 is the clown.
Oh, the smart ass. I know where I'm saying.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking. The host knows that, he can make number 3 drop their pants. They're going to dance. They're going to jump. They're going to do anything that the host asks them to do crazy. That's number 3.
Well, in truth, I would probably be sitting towards more of the leader role. My middle brother Scott would probably actually take that role, because that dude's just batshit crazy and willing to do almost anything.
Looking forward to meeting Scott.
Yeah. He'll be at the summit, so.
Oh, awesome.
We'll have to put him on a short leash, I think. But
and then number 4 is like number 2, but number 5 will carry the team. And so that's how we placed them. Isn't that funny? So both English or Spanish. That's how.
Now you got me freaking intrigued. So when a family chooses to come on Family Feud, do they say, "Hey, here's the 5 people we want to bring," or does Family?
Oh, we audition them. They play the game before they're ever picked, and
really?
What I did was I had, when I was doing the Spanish version of it, we had a casting director in Mexico City, and I had a casting director in Florida, in Miami, where we film these shows. And I had them on Skype with me.
Really?
So we would lay out family versus family, and we would play the entire thing. And you're going to get a kick out of this. My son, the PowerPoint genius, we recreated the entire game on PowerPoint.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And we would, I had the music, the bells, the soundtracks, all of that. And we literally played for 2 or 3 days, depending on how many families showed up, play one family over the other. And then we would at that point figure out which families cause the most enthusiasm, are the craziest, are the funniest, have what it takes. And so
did they have like this awesome beep button? Because if you put my fucking family on anything, it's going to be beep. I mean, there's no way in hell you're ever casting us on something that's going to be.
So you're for YouTube only. You're not for regular.
Yeah. There's no way in hell
And
they're
the
putting
reason
me
I
on.
brought that up is because that's really what has led me to do what I do now, which is I'm a producer, and I'm looking for. I've had the pleasure of meeting the folks who own EntrepreneursNetwork.tv,
Mm.
and ETVN is now becoming Netflix for business, so to speak. And so we've been able. My job is to find the next ETVN star, and so that's basically what I'm doing is I'm creating content for a TV station that has 500,000 viewers, and they're in talks right now to actually be shown in India, Thailand, and China. So if everything goes right within the next 12 to 18 months, you're not going to have a 500,000 viewers. You're going to have a 500,000,000 viewers.
Wow.
And that changes, as you well know, you're an icon of influence. And by the way, you guys, you really need to celebrate Toni, because to get to be an icon of influence, that means you've had 10,000 downloads of something. So that's where you're at. And I honor that, because that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work.
And so, but that's what he is. And that's how I met him, actually.
Yeah.
And was it San Diego
I
or
know.
Tampa?
No, it was the Florida one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Orlando. Yeah.
Orlando. Yeah.
Five. So yeah, we met at the New Media Summit. A good friend of ours, Steve Olsher, creates some pretty fascinating things, and he puts all of these icons of influence, and we kind of do it like Shark Tank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where all of the icons of influence are on the stage, and they
Well,
turn
it's
their
kind of like a Shark Tank versus what's it? The sing off, the one where the chairs are all spun backwards.
yeah, The Voice.
Voice. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. No.
Another Fremantle media. But yeah, that's basically how I met Donnie, and even though I crashed and burned that day, I didn't do my pitch well. He still liked me, so for some reason we're still here, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
you know what? That brings to mind. Don't ever give up. Even if you crash and burn at a pivotal place, in your presentation, just take a breath, get back, and then realize that you have something to offer. And that's what brings me exactly what I'm doing now. Is I've created a year-long program called The Celebrity Within. And so I've been hanging out, so to speak, with speakers, authors, healers, and coaches, which are, entrepreneurs. And for the last 4 years, and I've seen the movement of people who really sincerely, especially baby boomers, and I'm really partial
You're
to
no
them.
longer called baby boomers, Toni. They're called boomers now.
I'm a boomer.
They're just boomers. I found that out because of TikTok. I didn't know that was a thing, but yeah, they're all boomers.
I like it. Thank you. Okay, we'll use that. But the reason that I really kind of cater towards them is because that's why I wrote the book, Act Two. Your show must go on. And the book is written because, in my point
I'm
of
so
view,
glad I'm in Act One. That is a win for the day. I am Act One, guys.
and what's funny is that if I really do look at this as just another problem that's coming along, I think we need to share it. As the point of view is that the American dream was dead. And what I meant by that is that boomers were raised, to work hard, go to college, work hard, graduate, work hard, get a job, work hard, rise, the corporate ladder. And then you have this golden parachute, and then you can leave at 65 and you're retired, and all this, the birds are singing and all that crap. Well, the reality is that most baby boomers there's 42 to 45 million of us right now that have been laid off, fired, or separated from our jobs and don't know what the hell to do.
Yeah,
because we're not ready to retire. And
now
what's going to happen within the next 6 to 8 years, that 45 million is going to hit 68 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
The crazy thing, and I just want to hit on that for 2 seconds, is the idea of that was the American dream. Because for me, I was told as a kid, work your ass off, climb the ladder, do all that kind of stuff, right? But I always understood the American dream is anybody could come here and make something of themselves, right? So I love the stories of the immigrants that have come over properly and built amazing companies and
Yeah.
businesses, and taking care of their families, those type of things. To me, that's the American dream. I think somewhere along the way we were sold the idea
Yes.
of the career, right?
Absolutely.
Go work for somebody for 20 years and then to be dependent on a stipend income to figure out how to survive.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you've put together a program that's aimed at these boomers. I just love that word, but aimed at these boomers to teach them the thing. I mean, dude, I was 40 years old before I decided to launch my own business. So
Love it.
so it's
Love it.
it's one of those
You
things
were
that,
very smart, Donnie.
well, or just batshit crazy. I mean, either way you want to look at it.
As an
I
entrepreneur, yes, you are. You have to be batshit crazy. You do. But the reality is, why are you killing yourself for somebody else's dream? Go
Yep.
start your own.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean, literally, if anybody's heard my story, it was really simple. A guy looked at me that I love to death, great guy, but he looked at me and said, "Thank you for being my retirement plan," because I'd made him so much money. I'd helped him build his company, and I still love the guy to this day. He's a hell of a mentor and a friend. But that was a moment that I realized that I'd been living everybody else's dreams. And I think boomers, if they were to take a hard look at themselves, would look at it and go, "Man, I have never really bet on myself. I've never really chased my own dreams. And now here's a prime opportunity to do it." And Stacy says 40 is the new 30. Which
I was hoping 65 is because I'm about 10 days away. And I'll tell you what, I am nowhere close to retirement. I promise.
no. I, you know,
So
I think we need to redefine the idea of retirement too. Because growing up, retirement was you hit 65 and then you stopped working, and then you sat around and you played golf or would have figured it out. Dude,
yeah,
I have no desire to live that lifestyle. I
no.
have no desire to stop anything. I actually want to create a business and a lifestyle that allows me to keep going on doing the fun shit that I want to do, and that happens to make more money so I can do more fun shit. Cool. So I think people really need to change their perspective on it. That's why I love a lot of the things that you're doing to help people get into creating their own lifestyle. Stacy says 65 is the new 40. So you're only off by 10 years.
I love it. Thank you, Stacy. I love you.
I think 40 is the new, 43 actually is like 23 if we want to get technical. So, I mean,
Well,
I'm
and let me explain you, Donnie.
explaining. All right, explain
Let
me.
me All right, so I did marketing for an insurance company a couple of years ago, and we set up their whole system. And so here's what's happening is when the Social Security system was made up, it was during the 40s and 50s. People's lifespan were 65 to 72. Okay, in the 40s and 50s.
And
So
now people are living to like 112.
the Social Security system was made to last basically 25 to 35 years. Period. All right. So then, because of medical advancements and everything that we've got in the new supplements and the vitamins and people taking care of themselves and eating better, now we've got
I'm on
people
the George Burns diet, just for the record. Cigars and alcohol. I mean,
cigars and alcohol.
they're over here saying there's no.
I can tell that you're going to go kicking and screaming, and the devil's going to be afraid of you. You're going to stay here.
Right. Exactly
But
right.
so what happened is that now we're into the 60s and 70s, and people are not living to 65; they're living to 78 to 82. See, so
Yep.
then you go through the 90s and the 2000s, and now people are living to 92 to 94.
Mm.
So it's very, very possible that if you're looking at a baby, your grandson, your son, your daughter right now, it's very possible that they can live beyond 120 years because every decade we've been adding 10 years to people's lifespan.
I hope they look better. I mean, because you see some people that are like getting close to 100, you're like, are you still breathing? I mean, so, and I don't mean to bag up on them, but I mean, at some point you got to look at. I want the medical technology to keep up. I mean, the running joke is always guys get old and distinguished.
Yeah,
Ladies get gray.
yeah, I get the turkey waddle, right?
So I welcome. We were talking about this earlier. I mean, I don't get gray hairs; I get chrome. So as I age, and men, we don't get older; we get distinguished. So
I cut mine off because I was I stopped fighting the gray. Said the hell with it. I just went white.
Dude, I'm telling you, some women can wear the gray so classy. I wish
Oh
more would just own it. I worked for a lady by the name of Jane Miranda, probably one of the greatest bosses I ever had. And she was young gray, and dude, just such classy hair. I always loved it. She reminds me of the tall gal off of Golden Girls.
oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Uh-huh.
Looked just
Maud.
like her. Is that her name? I can never remember her name.
Oh God, you would say that. My mom used to watch it all the time, and my sister would she would know who I was, but she was the tall one, and mom was the old one. So so I'm not going to tell you who I was.
You just put it all out there. So,
Just put it all.
so
So anyway, so that's kind of what I've been working on is applying what I know about casting and acting and directing and being on stage and being camera ready. And by the way, Donnie, I wanted, with your permission, to offer free to all of your viewers. I'm giving away a gift called the 30-minute Are You Camera Ready Makeup Makeover.
oh, very
And
cool.
so we're going to do it virtually. So
Wait,
Donnie,
do I
you
get to
grab
put
all your
makeup on?
makeup and you put it on the desk, and then you and I are going to walk through how to apply it properly so that you look handsome as hell.
Dude,
Or
don't say that. I got so many guys that are watching right now. They're like, they want you to walk me through a
oh,
makeup session.
absolutely,
Oh,
because I
hell
mean,
no. Hell
every
no.
actor out there gets makeup.
No,
Everybody
dude.
gets
So
powder.
there's that TikTok sound. The guy's like, hell no. To the no, no, no. That is 100% me right now.
Donnie, okay, just watch. See the look at your forehead. See the light there? Right. That should be a little bit. Look at mine. I've got a light shining
Okay,
right on.
cool. Shining's gone.
And there's one secret. I'm gonna run and get it. Hold on one second. I'm gonna run and get it.
Can Donnie get a makeover? I knew you assholes were gonna come through with that shit. That is not happening.
All right. And what's funny is that I find this at Target and it's always on sale. You guys, this right here
What is
is
it?
this way.
Master Fix?
Maybelline's Master Fix. This is the powder that's ultra translucent that picks up the light and takes it away from your face. It's made for photo shoots. And I like, again, they don't know what it's for at Target. They always have it on the sale. Last time I picked up 5 of these for, pennies on the dollar. But this is the best powder, men or women, that you can use. And it's bright white, which freaks people out because it's so white. But it completely disappears and takes all of the lights. So
you know what? I think I look pretty damn good.
I think you're adorable. What are you talking about? Boy, was that a feed for that. That's a segue,
I have
guys.
been interviewing
That's
people
what we
for a
call a
while. I
segue.
know a few tricks of the trade.
Well,
I can push it down.
and the other thing that Donnie does, right, is something that I always notice every time we talk, even in meetings, is his damn background. You've got the most. I mean, you look like a Van Gogh painting. But you got both ears. But
No, right. Hold on, I got a couple of questions for you. What was the network called again? Was one of the questions.
Entrepreneursnetwork.tv.
Okay.
And we call it ATVN, but let me tell you, right now we're in the process of getting the talent. So we've acquired a lot of what I call talking heads, which is similar to what we're doing here right now, where there's not, feeds and production and high quality stuff coming in and memories of my car and stuff like that. But
Dude,
this
you put that shit in here and you have like memories of my car, and I'm gonna be such a shiny object person. I'm gonna be like, oh, did you see that shit? I'm gonna be all over the map.
Hey, I learned how to drive in a bored out 427 1967 Chevrolet Camaro with a 4-on-the-floor Hearst transmission. And the reason I learned how to drive
sound like the Model A.
The reason was because my big brother bought this car at the Dallas drag strip, drove it home. Of course, you get like 7 miles per gallon at that time, and then he was drafted.
Oh,
so the cheerleader got to keep the car.
Oh, nice.
So I learned a lot about cars and how to drive sticks. Yeah.
Dude, the guys are totally geeking out on you right now over there. So well done.
I was always one of the guys. I really was. I wasn't there with
Well, you
food
know, we always
world.
call the gals that can really hang out with the guys is just a dude with long hair, right? You
Hey,
know,
I was the FFA sweetheart.
yeah,
I
yeah.
raised a steer. I got dirty. I washed them. Them. I mean, cut off their horns.
So, and I see it on LinkedIn. Somebody put it, "Okay, boomer." That's the when they're making fun of boomers because the boomers are saying, especially on TikTok, dude, it's like,
Hey,
"Okay,
our
boomer."
cars have real steel on them. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Dude, that car you could literally like hit a
Ooh.
tank and the tank's gonna crack. You
Oh,
know, I mean,
yeah.
not this
I
crappy
told you my
ground.
dad sold insurance. Do you remember the old Impala station wagons?
Oh, I do. Is that the big
Being
green?
raised
Yeah.
in the Rio Grande Valley, there's tons of palm trees, and the real tall ones are called Washingtonians.
Okay.
I saw a 1966 Impala station wagon split in half when it ran into a palm tree.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Yeah. Those things are solid. My hair's backwards. I think I'm backwards.
Everything's backwards, Tony.
Yeah, I'm getting there. But yeah, I mean, literally, that which was a steel car was split in half by a palm tree. So you really need to watch out for palm trees.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
They win. So you're helping people launch basically their own TV show, bring talent in, bring in 60 some odd years of experience to the table, helping people become rock stars. Here's the cool thing about that is, I'm trying to go live every day, every morning to talk about, I'm just trying to break up the day for people, let them consume something else. And I'm telling everybody that I don't care what you're doing right now. You need to be going live, putting out videos, putting out content, and doing shit to get a message out there for your business. So I love the fact that you have a platform, a business, a thing that people can, sign up for and literally within a few seconds launch your own TV show that is getting out there to audiences upwards of 500,000 people.
Well, and we did the Google test yesterday. Do you remember when we were checking to see how many times our name appeared within 1 second and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff?
dude, you totally whooped my ass on that, by the
But
way.
but let me explain you.
Let me
Okay.
explain you.
Okay, what we did was that we're always putting up stuff, or whether it's a YouTube show, a live feed, an interview, something. I'm always dripping content into the internet. And what that does overall is the algorithms start picking you up. And then every time somebody does a Google for your name, you see all these hits because it's been picking you up for 3 or 4 years.
Right. Right.
And so that's one of the secrets, right? But I do want to tell people that the idea of the celebrity within, most people, when I say, Donnie, I want you to have a TV show, the first question that comes to mind is, what the hell am I going to talk about? I mean, what would I do? So the way that I answer that is we create live online conferences, online summits, and something called an online deep dive. And those three things are very quickly replacing live events. And you're experiencing this
Yep.
right now. You had a live event that was going to go next weekend that you had to postpone. So now we're going to go virtual until we get to September, and hopefully everything's cooled in, and then you're going to have your live event.
Yep.
But one of my very best friends, Linda Kane, owns Blue Diamond Event Management. And I mean, literally in 1 week, she's lost probably 11 to 15 of her big events. And so we've decided to create a package of we take what you were going to do live and we make it work for you online, virtual. And so that's real important. And by the way, for anybody to get, I forgot to say this, Dottie, for anybody to get the free makeover, men or women, all they need to do is
Kevin,
text.
Matt, y'all need to write this down. What do they need to do?
They're going to text to 474747, and they're going to text the word Toni, just my first name.
Text Toni. What's the number?
To 474747. Follow the links, and you're going to come to my appointment page. And right there it says meet up for a makeover.
You want to see how cool I am? Look at this.
Oh, this is cool. So
right?
thanks for Toni. I love that. No wonder you like StreamYard.
No, I
That's
do that.
wonderful.
It's hands down the best program in the world to go live with. I
I
love
love it. I need
so
to learn it. You've given me a new challenge here.
right. Um, and you can do all kinds of fun things like here's my book up in the corner now,
Oh, love it.
right?
Very
Oh,
good.
this is the old dates, but I gotta fix that. But there's a badass business.
Yeah. But you
So
guys don't miss it. I mean, I know the quality of the speakers that Donnie's got, and every Wednesday, the Meet the Experts is a combination of your speakers and your sponsors, all, I mean, just giving and
yeah,
giving and giving, and you can't beat that. And you know what, Don, that is the number one thing that I've noticed over the past 4 years, because when I was laid off, I was chief of staff of global IT, the SAP division for Hewlett Packard.
right.
And so, PowerPoint goddess, but and official cat herder. And so what we did was, I mean, we were always working and all that, but when I got laid off, it was part of the 58,000 people they laid off over so many months. And my husband asked me at that time. He says, "Well, you've got a chance to do whatever you want. You've got your severance package. When were you the happiest?" And when I really looked back at it, between everything that I did, it was back to Channel 13.
Mm.
It was producing, creating, helping people,
You mean it wasn't
seeing
South
their
Padre,
eyes light up.
the beach with the bodies and all that?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
That's
No,
all.
I've come to realize that I'm never going to look like the Bud Light girls again. So I'm
Yeah.
fine with
You
that.
know what? Me either.
Yeah, exactly.
I try, but it's just not. I'm
You
not
tried.
never gonna pull it off. So,
Oh my goodness.
well, girl,
But
this has been a hell of a ride. And
thank
guys,
you.
do me a favor and make sure you send this text. We'll scroll it again. For Tony to get into, and what was it called again, Tony?
That's called easy texting, and what that's going to give you is the access to my scheduler, so you can set up an appointment. And by the way, guys, if you don't want a makeover, I'm happy to discuss your business and how I can help you, and how I can produce stuff for you. So I didn't finish that last statement. The
Oh,
online summits. Think about it this way: if you have 3 days, 5 speakers per day, that's 5 hours. All right. In 3 days, you're going to have 15 episodes of your new TV show. And then we record you alone talking about your TV show, which is your pilot. You've got 4 months of drip content every Monday for less than 1/3 of what you would pay for a live event.
very cool. How
And
cool is
fun to
that?
do too.
Yeah.
We do everything for you.
Well,
Everything.
and then they get you in your corner, which is helping them all along the way to, and your team of badasses that I've had the pleasure of working with as you guys are helping us put the summit. And guys, just so you guys know, Toni and her team are helping us do the live streaming and a lot of the video work and stuff. Day of the event, so we're really excited to partner up with them and bring them to the table. And I'm also honored that you were guest number one on this whole Meet the Experts. Kicking us off and setting such a high bar for everybody else that's coming through. So we're gonna do this, guys, every Wednesday, 4 o'clock. We're gonna go live. Some days you're gonna see me with a cocktail. Some days you might not, but it will be just a blast and a good time. Toni, you're a doll. I truly appreciate you. Thank you for all the memories, all the stories, and everything you do to help everything out we're
And we
doing.
didn't even talk about the president.
Oh, I totally forgot. Really quick, you guys got to hear this. I know you dropped it. I totally forgot. So tell them which president you worked with.
I was appointed to head the transition team to bring President George H.W. Bush home back in the 90s. And I had the pleasure and honor of working with him, his entire staff, working with Kenny, the house at Kennebunkport, the house in Houston, the new library, and his office at 10,000 Memorial. And had the most fun with the Secret Service because they were always so stoic and serious. Just kind of magnet for me.
Right.
So, but learn how to appreciate a true celebrity and learn how much of an effort and how much work it really takes just to have a normal day.
Yeah.
So be careful what you wish for. You can be a celebrity at a certain level, but when you get to that level, that's a whole new ball of wax.
Right.
So
Well, you're awesome, my dear. Thank you so much for joining us. Guys, check out Miss Toni. Follow wherever she's at. Text Toni to 474747 and get to know her. She's a badass with an amazing story. Got some big things coming, and I'm glad and honored to call you friend, girl.
thank you, sir. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for putting up with me. Make sure and get your meeting. I'd love to meet you.
Y'all be badasses. Later.